Sponsored by IPNpoker.com, teaching the champions of tomorrow.
Dunfermline 1, Celtic 8. Yes, 8. Ahead inside 3 minutes through Stilian Petrov. The only surprise was that it was all square for a while as Artur Boruc got himself in all sorts of problems. Andy Todd equalised, but quickly Celtic ahead again. Żurawski with the set-up work and John Hartson finished for 2-1. Then Maciej Żurawski scored the first of his 4 goals, given far too much room inside the penalty box. This was his second, 2 in August against Dunfermline, and quickly 2 in the first half here, 4-1 at half-time. 5-1 as Żurawski completed his hat-trick completely unmarked to tuck in his third of the game. And then the goal of the game from Sean Maloney, a classic this, for 6-1. And there was worse to come for Dunfermline. Yes, Neil Lennon scored for the first time since December 2001. Make that 7-1. Any more for any more? Yes, Żurawski's fourth. 10 goals in 8 games for him, 15 for the season. 8-1 Celtic. Which does this at the top of the Bank of Scotland Premier League. That goal difference looking decidedly healthier on plus 46, but the key column is the one next door, which shows Celtic 13 points, again ahead of Hearts at the top. No change for Dunfermline at the foot. They still have that 6-point cushion over relegation favourites Livingston. Neil Lennon will be having a celebration tonight, I'm sure. The Celtic captain is with Scott Booth.
Neil, am I seeing things, or did you just score there?
Well, I mean, I think everything happened out there today. Just delighted. Fantastic team performance. Thought Żurawski was magnificent. Right through the team, 1 to 11 again. Just adding on to the performance from last week. I said to the boys before the game, it might be as tough as it was last week, but they went out with the right attitude and they were magnificent today.
Yeah, that's right. How vital is it in these types of games to start well?
Well, it's always vital to try and get the first goal because, Dunfermline beat us early on in the season and they dug in against us, so we knew how difficult it was going to be. But the quality of the movement and the finishing today, and the passing as well, we've got to be delighted with that.
It took Maciej Żurawski a little while to settle here at Celtic, but he's now coming good. 4 goals today. Just how good is he?
Well, he's on fire now. It's just confidence, and it's obviously difficult coming from a different culture. And he had the hamstring injury as well. During the England games, kept him out for 6 weeks. But now you're seeing the best of him, and he's proven to be a hell of a bag for us at the minute, and a very, very important player. Great partnership now with Big John.
Is it now just important that there's no complacency creeping in?
Well, that's it. I mean, we had our fingers burnt last year, and we don't want to go through that again. We've got a comfortable gap at the minute, but anything can happen over the next few weeks, so it's just important we get our heads down and carry on.
Any coincidence as well that these 2 great performances have coincided with you and Roy Keane playing in midfield?
I don't know. I mean, there's been a lot made of it, and I know we didn't get off to the best of starts against Clyde, but sometimes these things take a bit of time to gel, and that's the last 2 games we've had now, and we've put in pretty good performances, so we're starting to click.
You're very experienced, but is it a different type of thought process for players now that you are 13 points ahead with 11 games to go?
I think basically you're trying to win the league as quickly as you can, and you just got to take it one game at a time. We've got Aberdeen at home in the next game, and they've put together some decent results of lately, so we just got to keep trying to put in performances like that, and hopefully the points will come.
You're looking forward to a wee rest now?
Yeah, no, well, obviously we'd like to be in the cup competition, but it's a wee bit of a bonus for us. I mean, the way we're playing at the minute, you might want to keep the momentum going, because a 2-week break sometimes can break your rhythm and that, so we'll just have to wait and see how the boys are next week.
Well done today. You weren't man of match, obviously. It was Maciej Żurawski, and maybe you can give me champagne.
I will do. Thanks very much.
Thanks very much.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Well, the late great Jimmy McGrory was banging in the goals the last time Celtic had as big a win as that against Dunfermline, and that was back in season 1926-27. The last time Celtic scored 8 goals in a league game was 1988 against Hamilton Accies, 8-0 it was then. It's very much a case of choose your own stat after a scoreline like that. Dunfermline 1, Celtic 8. Craig Burley and Billy Dodds are with me in the studio, and Craig, it's hard to believe that Dunfermline went to Celtic Park and won back in November.
Well, I mean, just let me start by saying this result does the credibility of Scottish football absolutely no good whatsoever. If you were watching at home, it was embarrassing. So got that off my chest. Where do we start? You know, Celtic were good, yes, they were clinical, as Neil Lennon said. The movement was very good. I was talking to Jim Leishman before the game. He's a nice, likeable fella, but that was just atrocious defending from the back four. From the midfield, they didn't pick up any runners, they didn't win any tackles, they got no balls up to the strikers, they just let people run off them. One ball was beating the two centre-halves. Where Zambernardi was playing at times, I just don't know. Left back, he was not pushing up, he wasn't dropping off and playing people onside. I mean, they just got everything wrong. Celtic scored some great goals, don't get me wrong, but to score 8 goals away from home in the SPL is just an embarrassing result, I think, for Scottish football.
They didn't look, Billy, like two teams who play in the same league.
The worst thing is you could see it coming right away. It was as good as Celtic could be, and it was as bad as Dunfermline could be. But I mean, you've got to give Celtic credit. But as I say, you could see it coming. The gaps were there in defence. The line was wrong. As Craig said, the midfield weren't picking up runners, overlapping fullbacks. We said at half time. We said if they don't sort it out, it could run up a cricket score, and so it proved to be.
Gordon Strachan should be a happy manager, you would imagine. Here he is with Scott.
Gordon, that was an incredible scoreline, but it didn't flatter you, did it?
I don't think so. Our football was right good. You know, we started well and gave away a goal, and you think, well, there's got to be a problem here. But we asked the players to do certain things today and play to their reputations, and they did that. It wasn't just reputation, it was reality. Dunfermline had to play against it. Reality had to play against right good footballers today, and footballers who got the luck at the right time. And I think if you're Dunfermline, you need a wee bit of luck. And they didn't get any luck today at all. Anything we hit went in the back of the net.
I mean, the only negative would have been early on in the game with Boric, the mistake for Dunfermline's goal. Maybe still thinking about the stick he was getting from the players.
No, I think he's coming back next week with Lennon should score more headlines, you know. But no, but if you look at his handling today, his handling was absolutely fantastic on a poor surface, and that's the only mistake he's really made, and he was punished. But that's ironic after the headlines the press is putting under himself.
And early on as well, at times I got the feeling that you just wanted your players to clear their lines at times because of the surface as well.
Yeah, it was okay to play, but we just felt that we didn't want to give Dunfermline any chance, and I just thought, we said, look, we'll make sure we don't lose the game in the first 15 minutes. You can't win it the first 15 minutes, and after that, when it went to 1-1, I think we got gone again, and I just think we were just Dunfermline unlucky to get us on a day like this.
And Sadowski, he's definitely living up to this magic name of his. It just shows, doesn't it, that sometimes we can be too quick to judge, can't we?
I don't think you should count yourself on that because you've played the game. But as I said, it's the opinions didn't count. But the best opinion I got was for Bobby Lennox. Bobby Lennox, after 3 games when Magic's maybe not scored, says to me what a good player he is, and that reassured me that I'd bought the right player.
Was it an area before the game that you'd highlighted in between the full-backs, because you seem to use that really well to good effect?
Well, we do try and highlight, you know, we try and play our own game, but you just put some pictures in the minds of the players that you might be able to expose. But I don't think that's right for us to talk about Dunfermline's team.
I noticed the exchange you had with Nakamura on the bench there. What's happening language-wise there? Are you speaking his language or is he speaking yours?
Perfect. It was perfect. There wasn't another problem because when I looked around, he looked a bit cold there, but he wanted to get on. You know, he just wanted to play. So, and to be fair, I just love football. So to watch Nakamura to me is a joy. So we put him on.
Good thing about the result today is it does allow you in the game to rest a few players, doesn't it?
It did. John had a wee knock, and he told us if things go well, could he get off? And Roy was the same. You know, he's not played many games this year, and he's played back-to-back games, and that's 3 in the trot, I think. So it was handy for him to have a rest as well.
Gordon, well done today.
Thank you, Tam.
Well done.
Just the 9 goals to reflect on, a catalogue of errors from Dunfermline, but don't let underplay at all. The part played in this by Celtic, who took just about every chance which came their way, starting from 2 minutes and 44 seconds in, when Mark Wilson got down the outside. Stilian Petrov made a good run across, and he wasn't matched by Gary Mason.
Well, this is what we're talking about right away. You just can't blame the defence. I mean, this is a full-back getting forward, a midfielder getting in the box, good cut back, goal, simple as that. And
perfect start for Celtic, worst possible start for Dunfermline, and unfortunately for them their afternoon was to go downhill rapidly after this. And he did well. Wilson at left back, playing out of position. I think since he's came into the Celtic side, he's looked confident, he's looked lively, and he looks as if he's got a chance to progress. The lad Billy knows him better than I do, but again he had a very good game at left back for Celtic today. And yet
Dunfermline had the chance to wipe away the memory of that opening goal, because they got themselves back on terms, courtesy of Superman flying out from goal, missing it completely.
Yeah, just it had to be the day when Boric was getting out all the stick. He's came for it, but as I say, he got knocked back in here by, I think it was Andy Campbell, and a great header by Andy Todd. But I mean, after it just happened to be the day, as I say, and his teammates got him out of jail. Let's say that.
At this point, we thought it might be game on, Craig.
Well, you just wondered about Dunfermline, and they get themselves back in the game, but they continually shot themselves in the foot, to be honest with you. And it was just, every 2 minutes, whenever Celtic went forward, they looked dangerous.
We pointed the finger at Gary Mason for Celtic's first goal. Hand up, Jamie McCunny, I think, for this one. He was just too easily brushed aside, wasn't it, Billy, by Zurawski in the lead up to John Hartson's goal.
It's good play, but it's get on the weights time, I think. He did well. He actually did well with his left foot. He took a touch on the pat, and then McCunny couldn't touch him after that. There you see it, left foot, got on the ball there, tried to score a goal, but they're talking about Hartson, a bit overweight, sharp as attack in there, and it's in the net.
And a fantastic little ball from Stilian Petrov, and that's what John Hartson gets paid for. He's in there, the keeper makes a good save, and he follows it up, and all of a sudden Dunfermline are trailing again.
Scott Wilson gave Maciej Zurawski far too much room here. I don't think there's too much doubt about that. But again, what a finish! It's a blistering left foot shot.
It's just a straight ball up, and Maloney picks the knockdown, and John Hartson slips a good diagonal ball. Diagonal balls and diagonal runs were a constant problem for Dunfermline today. See a little diagonal run from Zurawski. Scott Wilson doesn't get close enough, and that is an absolutely fantastic finish. Now, we did that on so many occasions today. It was begging belief, to be honest with you. But take nothing away from this fella. Neil Lennon spoke about him in his interview, and Gordon Strachan did as well. He did have a slow start at the club, but he's just getting better and better, and his movement was fantastic.
Yannick Zambernardi may wish to look away at this point, because it was he who played on Zurawski to make it 4-1 at the interval.
It wasn't just diagonal runs when it was little threaded passes through, it was diagonal runs for 50-yard passes, and they were causing Dunfermline all sorts of problems. I mean, the two centre-halves are up in a good line there, but I don't know what Zambernardi's doing. He tries to step up too late and play them off as well. But
it's a schoolboy error, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, but I mean, when things are going against you and you don't know, it's maybe a language barrier thing there, that Andy Todd and Scott Wilson saying push up and he's just stepping off. But as I said, if it was a 50-yard run and he's got in there and it's a great finish, you didn't expect anything else from him.
You wondered in the second half if Celtic would hit cruise control, would Dunfermline get themselves together and start defending a little bit better all over the pitch? Well, Celtic didn't hit cruise control, Dunfermline didn't play much better, and 11 minutes after the restart it was 5-1, and look at the players swarming around John Hartson here, nobody near Zurawski.
Yeah, I mean, John Hartson's the best man in the country at doing this, but watch the left back as the ball goes in here, he's picking up Zurawski. Where is he going? I mean, he just walked away from Zurawski, allowed him a free space. John Hartson's under pressure, there's players around about him, the left back comes 10 yards across, the ball gets popped to Zurawski, and it's in the back of the net. 5-1, doesn't get much simpler than that. Absolutely, it was terrible defending. I don't want to pick on Zambernardi, but an absolute horrible afternoon. And as I say, it's defending from the SPL's point of view, it's just not good enough. If they continue to do that, there's only going to go one way, and that's down the way.
We'll show you as many angles as we have of this one, because it was an absolute classic from Sean Maloney, a rival to Jim Hamilton's effort a few weeks back. Great technique, wonderful effort.
It is in similar lines as Jim Hamilton's. He's in the box, he has to adjust himself. You see him, he comes back out and he catches it. I mean, it's very, very similar. Craig said he doesn't think it was as good, but it was right up there with it, because it's not as if he's coming in to meet it. He has to adjust his body, get back out, and his contact is phenomenal.
He was quite quiet in the first half, actually, Maloney, and but he came alive. I think he got a sniff of a few goals out there going in, and but we've seen him do it before. He's a fantastic finish. He's a player with loads of ability.
Now Neil Lennon's going to need to take a lie down after this, because it's 4 years and 2 months since it last happened, scoring a goal for Celtic. 7-1.
For me, Rob, this sums up the day. I mean, Neil Lennon, the amount of room he got all day, they weren't pushing up on him, and there again, they're standing 5 yards off him. He's hit it for 22 yards, couple of bobbles, and it ends up in the net. And when Neil Lennon scores, he'll admit it himself. it's not to be Dunfermline's day, I'm afraid.
You just can't stand off players, and I actually think Neil Lennon gets himself in this position more often than people think. And I just think there's a reluctance from Neil's point of view to shoot, but you know, if you don't buy a ticket, you don't win the raffle.
2 minutes from time, it was finished. The punishment was completed for Dunfermline. 8-1 Celtic. Zurawski's fourth.
Yeah, it's the one straight ball. I mean, the centre half's just played that from what, 10 yards outside his box. Look, it's one straight ball, goes over Andy Todd's head, and he's through and goal. Fantastic finish, but you know, that type of ball going 60-70 yards shouldn't be beating any defender in the SPL. I don't think, in my opinion. It just summed up their day. It was a horrendous day, and they've got to go home, take a few paracetamols, get to bed, forget about it, and pick their heads up, because they've got a long season still to go with Dunfermline, I can tell you that. We can pick holes in Dunfermline's performance. We have done. We will continue to do so. But that was clinical finishing today from Maciej Zurawski, wasn't it? 10 goals in 8 games from him, 15 for the season.
Yeah, it's confidence again from him. But as we said, it's as good as Celtic can go, and it's as bad as Dunfermline could have been. And it just happened to be on TV to highlight it. But I mean, it was again one diagonal ball for 50 yards. I couldn't believe it. But this time Zurawski's peeling onto Big Andy Todd at this point in time, and there's only one winner there. But I mean, Big Andy, he wanted Scott Wilson on Zurawski, but he knew where to go, and that's how he got his goals.
You'll never guess who the man of the match was today. Maciej Zurawski, undoubtedly so, with his 4 goals in that 8-1 win, picked by, well, lots of people, including Mark Haitley and Andrew O'Connell from Cheltenham, who's our competition winner this Sunday, and a signed Zurawski shirt. Andrew is heading your way. Here's confirmation of the league placings before we go, with Celtic having restored that 13-point advantage at the top, 67 versus 54. Rangers 46, Hibs 45, Kilmarnock 44, Inverness 39, Aberdeen 38, Motherwell 33, Dundee United 27, Falkirk 21, Dunfermline stay where they were, 18, 6 points ahead of bottom club Livingston. Next weekend there is one SPL game. It's Scottish Cup quarter-finals, of course, but it's also here, Dunfermline against Dundee United. The following weekend, a full programme, again 5 games on Saturday, Celtic Aberdeen, Falkirk Rangers, Hibs Dundee United, Inverness Motherwell, Kilmarnock Dunfermline, and on Sunday we are live at Ammonvale for Livingston against Hearts, John Robertson's new team against his old team. So that's our live match a week on Sunday as we reflect on what happened here, and a real bruising defeat for Dunfermline, but all sorts of plaudits to Celtic for getting 4-1 ahead and keeping going. Yeah, well, from Dunfermline's point of view, just quickly, you know, Jim Leishman has to get on the prayer mat and hope that his players perform better and he gets his players off the treatment table and fit. But from Celtic's point of view, it was clinical. You maybe didn't see it in the TV, but Roy Keane made numerous runs from midfield with Neil Lennon holding, so there is a good balance in there. And they just completely destroyed Dunfermline today. And doesn't do much for Dunfermline's hopes of survival, although they do have that cushion. They've got to get out their minds, get into next week's game against Dundee United. Huge game, can distance themselves from Livingston, and got to get away from this relegation battle. There's absolutely no pressure in Celtic. You know, they get to, you know, no Scottish Cup next weekend, and you know, Dunfermline's just got to pick this all up. It's going to be a battle to the end of the season. And Celtic have just got to be no complacency. They're going to go in and win the championship. There is absolutely no doubt about that. Thanks a lot to Craig and to Billy. It was some game, and ate some reel for Celtic here. Dunfermline were led a merry dance by the champions in waiting. From all of us, bye for now.
Caught you in a ring of fire, all surrounded, such a blaze. Got you in a ring of fire, lift me as you say my name. Who you gonna get to bring your water when your well runs dry? What you gonna tell your little daughter is the reason that her daddy makes her cry? days.